Shiba Inu is moving, folks. We have whales moving billions, and there's a huge upgrade on the horizon, and the mainnet goes live today. This is around the blockchain. Thank you for joining, everybody. We got 4 phenomenal guests. Let's just get right into the show. On the top left, we have Altcoin Daily, holding it down. Altcoin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm trying to find your Twitter to retweet this and get everybody to join. Do you guys, what's the Twitter?
We got put in Twitter jail, ATB_daily. ATB _ daily. I don't even know if we have a tweet out. We did some, was it Meta versus Amazon? Or maybe some sort of Mark Zuckerberg. What was it? Google versus Amazon. I don't know. They took it as like we're inciting violence, folks. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure that was it.
You know, I knew I shouldn't have posted about Epstein. Also on today, we have Aldo. Evan, how are you doing today? What is going on with the black box behind you? Is that a sign of things to come?
I'm doing well, DZ. No, it's just how the studio is. Like to keep it a little cool. Doing well, shorting Ethereum right now. So can't complain.
All right.
Maybe that's a clue. Maybe it's a clue.
Maybe it is. All right, let me go ahead and copy trade real quick. Also on today, we have Piano Matty B coming from the beach. Piano, how's that tan going?
Oh, well, you know, I'm not much of a tanner, more of a burner, DZ, so I try to stay out of the sun. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I heard the leader of your country, sometimes he'll apply makeup to appear darker. Also on, why did I say that? We have Shroom. Shroom, how are you doing today?
Oh man. It is sad but true, though. Yeah, I'm doing better than I deserve, DZ. I really am, and I'm here in my NFT art gallery yet again. Just
all
chilling.
right. And I'm already sweating from that comment right there. But all right, let's talk about Shib's upgrades, guys. The mainnet, the Shiberium, it's been long awaited, often ridiculed, even by me sometimes, I'll admit. Well, it looks like it's going to go live today. It's projected to go live right as the show's going to end. I think it's 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. And this was officially announced by the lead dev at this Toronto. Here, let's show the video. This was at a Toronto crypto conference here, ETH Toronto 2023. Here we go. Spooky. Is this a trailer for a Netflix series?
Welcome everyone to the Shib.io keynote.
That was an AI-assisted speech that he did there. He wants to remain pseudonymous, so he's hiding his identity right there. But meanwhile, we have whales that are moving billions. We have 33 billion Shib has been moved from exchanges as we tease the launch today. And now they're also announcing, hey, people who are deep in the ecosystem, there might be a 4th token. Folks, the other one is Bone and Leash. So we might have a 4th token. So a lot of upgrades happening. NFT ecosystem flourishing. They got a metaverse, Shiberium. Now, Altcoin Daily, your audience, what is their favorite dog coin? And what do you think about the dog coins moving into the next bull run? Because a lot of attention is on the meme coins. Shiba, Doge. Doge has had multiple bull runs. Shib is going to be entering its, I guess, first bull run after a bear market. Will it have a similar performance to Doge? Can it set in a new all-time high?
Yeah, my thoughts on the dog coins, which got so popular in 2021 when Elon Musk endorsed Dogecoin in such a huge way. I mean, the Dogecoin community, I think, owes so much to Elon Musk because they got orders of magnitude higher because of that celebrity endorsement. And it's kind of like, I'm not worried about Dogecoin because of that. But like things like Shib and other Dogecoins, there's Floki, there's other ones. I think it's a case-by-case basis. I like that Shiba Inu and also Floki are trying to really differentiate themselves and, be more than a meme coin of sorts, really build out their ecosystem. Now, I'm not saying the Shiberium ecosystem in L2 is good, bad. I don't really know. I haven't tried it out. I would say that take it on a case-by-case basis. Dogecoin's different because Elon Musk supports it. Shib is different because the rumor is Sam Bankman-Fried created it. So take it all on a case-by-case basis.
All right. Well, man, maybe we need to let the dog out of the cage if that's the case. All right. Now, we're not talking about Sam. Keep him in the cage. Evan, Aldo, I kind of want to ask you a trading question here. Now, I brought up the other 3 tokens. We have Leash, we have Bone, we have Shib. Well, I looked at some of the numbers. Shib has been pumping this month. You're probably pretty well aware of that. It is up 35%, then at least an hour ago, and then it fell 6%. So it pumped 35%, fell 6%. Well, Leash pumped 60% this month, but then it was a double loss. It fell about 11%. So if you had to choose one coin to hold for a year, are you going to go with the riskier play, Leash, the higher gains but higher losses, or would you go with the safer bet, which is weird to say, Shiba Inu?
Oh man, DZ, it's tough to say with that. It's like, oh man, that's tough. All I could really say on that is probably go through history, look at the Shib. But look what I was looking at. I'll just show you what I've been looking at on the charts a little bit. We'll start with Shib right here. You hit kind of a golden pocket right here. You rejected from it. You came down on the daily. This is a pretty bearish pattern. You see the money flow starting to curve down right here in market cipher B. You got a bearish div that's coming down. I do think if we are to go up a bit higher here, it would be kind of based on, I see this weekly money flow going up, which does seem like you may be able to come up to this pocket right around 4012, 4012, which could be a significant place if you are to come up higher, with this burn, with this news, maybe another 25%. After you get higher than kind of these areas, 403, I mean, the degens would like to tell you 4020, $6 billion moving into this. I don't think so, but who knows? We saw Doge go to 70 cents, so anything could happen. Leash right now looks the same on the daily. Very overheated market cipher B. Money flow starting to come out. Bearish divs. I mean, you saw a nice big rejection kind of candle. Now you're recovering a little bit. Oh man, this is hard to say. I mean, the money flow coming up the 16-hour. You got some good signs here. Oh man, it's like these things are wild. I mean, I would say this point is a big psychological resistance around $600 here. So, if you have any sort of decency, any sort of risk management, you'd probably want to take some profits here. But yeah, I mean, these things are a dime a dozen. We don't know. It's tough to say. Kind of reminds me of the NFTs a little bit. There's kind of that Web3 kind of allure to it. So maybe there's a future, maybe there's not. I don't know.
I will say this. I'm glad you brought up the price point. One's in the hundreds, and one feels like it has hundreds of zeros before the decimal point. Retail will care about the price of a coin when it's time for them to come back in. So if all things being equal, one is like, oh, well, if this goes up to a penny, I'm rich. And this one, oh, God, one coin is $500. Retail is always going to choose the one that is under a penny.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Piano Matty B, I want to talk to you about Shib's big burn event. I think given your past, you might not be any stranger to, burning it down. Well, it was over 2 years ago. I think it was May 2021. The Shiba team sent half of all the tokens to Vitalik, to your countryman, to your fellow Canadian. They sent half the supply. He sent I think he burned about 90%. He sent about 5% to an Indian, might have been earthquake or maybe even COVID relief. Then also he kept a little bit. He kept 10 trillion. I did the math. It's worth about $9 million, the amount still in his wallet. What was your thought about that marketing stunt now that it's been 2 years? Was that a good thing that helped propel them to where they are now? Or if they just would have burned it all, would have been even better?
Well, I mean, why Viddy Boo Boos? Like, why? I get that he's kind of a big name, big Canadian here too. He gives it all to Viddy Boo Boos, and then if I'm not mistaken, did he not donate a majority of it to charity? I'm not sure.
I actually was under the impression he donated about half. When I actually looked, it was less than 10%. It was still a significant amount of money that he sent to the Indian Relief Fund.
Well, I mean, 2 years later, DZ, we're still talking about it. So I think it did have some staying power when it came to marketing. But listen, these dog coins, DZ, I like fun and games. As you can see, I'm at the beach. I run the pickleball from 2 to 4. I like fun and games. These tokens are fun. Do they have a use case? I don't know. Do they need a use case? I don't think so. But are they fun, DZ? Yes. Does it bring kind of new blood into the market? I guess so. But here's the thing. You might want to contrarianly trade against what I'm about to say. I just wouldn't invest in them because, I like to stick to the blue chip assets. Anything outside of that's a little too risky for this Canuck.
All right. I have one question. What is more fun, trading a dog coin or pickleball?
Well, pickleball, you see, I got this bum knee, easy. So pickleball is really tough these days, but I just put some of that THC rub on that us Canadians have. It's legal up here, don't you know? And then I'm pretty good. So I'm going to say pickleball.
All right. I thought you used maple syrup. Okay. All right. T Shroom, we've talked. We've talked about, that's the Canadian. On the Canadian shelves, they all have maple infusions. T Shroom, we've talked about your favorite little frog coin in the past. Of course, we're talking about Pepe. We've talked about it a couple times. Well, Pepe is, it's a newer meme coin, and Shib, it's about 2 years old. It's a little bit more than 2 years old. My question to you, 2 years from now, will Pepe look like Shib today?
Absolutely. Mark my words. And I know that for a fact that will be the case. No, behind me, I keep my favorite meme coins right here. You see Doge and Pepe, of which I do have exposure. But I do it for the lulz, guys. I do it for the lulz. And the more that one of these meme coins actually picks up real steam and tries to build, the less I'm attracted to it. There's branding for a reason, right? You don't want to start off your project as a joke and then try to curry billions of dollars of investment into becoming a real decentralized currency with a layer 2 that Shib is trying to do. I like to keep my memes. Let's just make memes again, right? And I think Pepe really exemplifies that and does it so well. I think also we're going into an election season, and the meme Pepe is associated, in case you don't know, with one of the bigger and one of the more popular candidates for the 2024 U.S. presidential campaigns. So I'm anticipating some upside for Pepe for that reason. And so I think that Pepe could get up to the same level and surpass Shib because it is sticking to the meme branding, right? It's not trying to leap out of that branding category into another category and then try to grow from there. It's sticking into its lane, right? And I don't think it's going to be roadkill. I think it's going to be leaping for the moon.
Ooh, leaping, nice. Okay. +1 for the frog joke there. Now, I will say this, as far as popular memes, if that candidate does get a mugshot, the left and right will furiously try to battle over that. That would be the most memeable image of all time. It's not my take. I'm not the first one to say it, but I'm going to go ahead and make that prediction. The most memeable image if we do get that photo. All right, now,
I like
Altcoin Daily. I think maybe I saw a little subtle, maybe. Let's talk about Coinbase. I don't know. Let's talk about Coinbase. Coinbase finally wins approval to list crypto futures in the U.S. The approval makes Coinbase the first crypto platform to offer regulated and leverage crypto futures. This is the key word. They're not the first to offer leverage crypto futures. They're the first to offer regulated crypto futures alongside traditional spot trading. The shares were up pre-market. They were pumping, for stocks at least. They're up about 6%. It's peeled back some of the gains. I think it's up about 3% if I had to guess right when the market closed. But they're going to have these futures directly eligible for U.S. customers for the first time in history, folks, because we never use VPNs to do that. Until now, only its institutional clients could trade such products. Andrew Sears, we have a quote from the CEO of Coinbase Financial Markets. He stated, offering U.S. investors access to secure and regulated futures is a key to unlocking growth and broader participation in the crypto community. So they're looking at this to help expand offerings, help expand the customer base, and just maybe try to be the one-stop shop for crypto. You hear that, CZ and Binance? Brian and Coinbase are coming for your title there. All right, well, altcoin, I know you're always pushing, safe trading strategies, but we got to admit it, man. There are some degens out there. Well, I want to talk about these degens. That average Bybit degen, they got the VPN on. They have the 9 screens. It looks like Sam Price's set up there. Are they going to drop the VPN and using Bybit to go to a regulated U.S. company?
Hey, that's a good question, DZ. I mean, yeah, I think over time we're going to see people dropping the VPN and going to trade in the US. I think we're seeing these products getting built out in real time, not just Coinbase and futures today, but since the beginning. At the beginning, there were no Bitcoin exchanges. In 2014, there was one, Mt. Gox. In 2017, we had Coinbase, Binance, a few. Now BlackRock's, now PayPal's building out. And yeah, over time, I think we're going to see people who would rather just do business in the safety of American regulations. They're going to choose that, even if it's just maybe even because of Coinbase branding and advertising, that they know the name Coinbase, they feel safe doing it there. I think overall we are going to see it grow slowly. And of course, there's always going to be people who prefer to trade offshore.
All right. Were you surprised that they were given the green light, given this administration's previous, adversarial relationships?
It is surprising and it is interesting and peculiar. You know, they're saying one thing, they're doing another. They're doing one thing, they're saying another. Overall, I'm bullish. I've drank in the Kool-Aid for Bitcoin and crypto. I think it is, it's not going away in America, whether it's, happening more slowly than offshore or whatever. So I was surprised, but not totally surprised.
Okay. Well, Piano Matty B, kind of on that thread, it does seem Altcoin Daily brings up a good point. They have a wishy-washy relationship, the government and Coinbase. On one end, they're literally suing them as we speak. But on the other hand, the U.S. government uses Coinbase to sell their Bitcoin. It really doesn't make much sense here. Well, why is there this weird, sometimes it's friendly, sometimes they're enemies? How would you describe that relationship? What's really going on behind the scenes?
Well, I tell you one thing, DZ, it reminds me of some of the relationships I've had with girlfriends. When it's Friday night, I go out and I tell my girlfriend, hey, I'm going out. I'll be back around 1 or 2. Okay, great. Have a good time. I go out, come back around 1 or 2. The next day, I wake up. Where the hell were you last night? I went out. I told you I was going to be back at 1 or 2. No, I did not say you could go out to 1 or 2. And then I'll go, okay, well, how about this? Next time I go out, I'll give you a couple more how you doing? And maybe I'll say it twice. So the next day I'm going to go golfing. Hey, guess what? Girlfriend, I'm going golfing with my buddies. Oh, great. Have some fun. I go golfing with some buddies. Come home. Where the hell were you all afternoon? I was golfing. I told you twice before I left. And that, DZ, in a nutshell, is what's going on with this crypto market with Coinbase.
I think you painted a perfect picture. I see your T-shirt. You're not dating the female it. Was that an accurate voice portrayal?
No, that's my movie trailer voice.
Okay. One in a world where trading is made illegal. One Canadian stands against Justin. All right. Now let's go to Evan Aldo. I kind of want to ask you about Coin, the stock. It did have a nice little move pre-market. I've heard something about trading platforms, Evan. You might know this better than I do. They make money whether the trader is successful or not successful. So if it's going up, they're making money. If it's going down, they're making money. Successful trades, they're making money. Getting liquidated, they're making more money. Is this good for Coinbase's bottom line? Should I go and buy some stock right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think Coinbase, theoretically, the more people that go into Bitcoin, the more in general, the more people that trade, there's obviously trading fees. And the more people that go into this, the more theoretically, the better that the Coinbase stock will do. Generally, it has followed Bitcoin right now. The first thing I want to say, and I read into this leverage trading thing, this futures trading thing a little bit, and what may keep a lot of people from going to Coinbase, at least in the beginning, is the fact that it's going to be limited to 4 times the leverage, whereas in offshore, and some of these offshore exchanges, you could go up to 150 or 200. Now, I'm not saying you should do that, but a lot of people, especially scalp traders, you can go do high numbers like 30x or 50x using good risk management with only risking smaller amounts, potentially having large upside with very high risk reward ratio, very high reward risk ratios. There, what I can show you really quickly on my chart here on the Coinbase chart that I always keep a little bit of an eye on is the thing here. We are up a little bit on the day, but now down to 78. This jump doesn't seem too big to me. I mean, we did have a technical target at 130, but the thing is, we rejected pretty partially off of this old place of resistance back of August of 2022. So my kind of guess here is that if you see these gapped RSIs, I mean, this thing generally just follows Bitcoin. You potentially could come down a bit more and come back to $68. This line, if you lose that, you could come back to 55. I mean, I think this is a really good area. If you come here towards the end of the year, that kind of high 50s to high 60s range, that's a good accumulation area. But yeah, will this outperform Bitcoin in the next bull run? I mean, it is a little bit more volatile. Let's see if we get back up to all-time highs. That is a 10x, so you might be, especially if you got in at the low here. I mean, the last thing I'll show you, like if you get in at like 50 or let's say $60, get back to all-time highs, that's pretty good. You still may outperform Bitcoin, maybe not though. So I'd be careful.
Okay, all right. Might split the eggs there. All right, well, Shroom, we kind of brought up the inconsistent relationship we're seeing between the government and Coinbase. Well, I think a lot of people are signaling this is a very major green light from the government for Coinbase. Is this a sign for you that the decision makers, the king makers, the policy, the king choosers, I would suppose, are they giving Coinbase the green light? Is it smooth sailing for Coinbase here on out?
That's a good question, DZ. I don't think so. I think that there's still going to be one or maybe two more battles that Gary has left up his sleeve for Coinbase. Unfortunately, I think the reason why you're seeing so much success with Coinbase recently, and why it's getting what could be perceived as the green light from the U.S. government, is the fact that it's just a great platform, right? Then they've done a lot of the right things, not just to service the government in a compliance standpoint, but also just from the user base. A lot of platforms have had major issues. Not that Coinbase has been completely flawless from a user standpoint, but there's been a lot of major issues. FTX comes to mind, right, with some of these platforms, and you can't always trust what's going on maybe with the platform that you use. Well, Coinbase has kind of bucked that stereotype and been pretty trustworthy all the way through. And so I think that's one of the reasons is the regulators themselves as people. They may be users of Coinbase on average, and they're looking at a platform like Coinbase and saying, this is just a great platform. And looking across the landscape of other offerings in the United States, they may not be as inclined to think that. So I think that's probably more than likely why. There's a possibility. And of course, when I put on my tinfoil hat, of course I do, kind of see how it could be interpreted as the shadowy, halls of government pulling the strings and giving Coinbase the go ahead, when all the while they're the ones, behind it in some way. You can spend your time thinking about it that way. And hey, look, way more than you'd think. It turns out to be something like that when all the curtains are pulled. In cases, things like Enron, things like the next administration, there definitely is real and deep corruption in the case of Coinbase. I tend to think that corruption's probably not too deep. That Brian Armstrong over there is running a pretty tight ship, and that's why users love the app.
Shroom, did Lee Harvey Oswald act alone?
No comment.
No comment. All right. I just had to ask. All right, let's talk about Satoshi. I saw someone in the chat. Brian Armstrong is Satoshi. Don't know about that one. We got 256 votes. Do you own Shib? We'll see the results pretty soon. But let's talk about this Satoshi wallet. I'm going to just kind of go through. This is more of a fun story. Old wallet woke up after nearly 13 years. How much is in there? Well, about $30 million worth of Bitcoin, over 1,000. Here is the kicker. They bought all the way back in 2010 when Bitcoin was trading at 22 cents. And then they bought 5 more at $1.31. What are they up? Oh, 12 million %. Yeah, I always love when you see those 12 million % candle pumps. I love those 12 million % candle pumps. Well, there's a lot of Bitcoin. 22, the ultimate OG wallet, of course, is Satoshi Nakamoto's. About 1 million Bitcoin. He started with the first Genesis block, 50 Bitcoin. The last publicly verifiable online sighting of Satoshi, coincidentally, was December 2010. Just a month after this wallet first received those Bitcoin. So some are saying, is it Satoshi linked? If it's not Satoshi, maybe the guy knew him. I don't know. Now let's just get right into this. Altcoin Dailies. We're going to have a little bit of fun here. I know we've had these thought experiments before. This guy got Bitcoin at 22 cents. How the hell did he diamond hand for this long?
That's a really interesting question, DZ. How did he hold this Bitcoin for so long, where he could sell it for millions and millions of dollars? And is that scary? Is that ultimately good? Here's the thing. I don't know. You probably saw, because I know you're a fan of our Twitter link below.
The best crypto Twitter in all of X. Is the best X crypto.
Wow. No, man, I appreciate that. But I just put out a tweet yesterday about a similar story about a man named Stephen Thomas. He has 7,002 Bitcoin in a password-protected hard drive, and he lost the password to it. And he's tried it so many times that he has 2 tries left before his hard drive encrypts itself, and the Bitcoin is lost forever. And there's 100 stories like that. Now, this particular person maybe had similar problems. I doubt he just held so long, past 2017, past 2021, and just sold now. It's interesting. Now, is this good or bad? If I was like, Richard Hart type, I'd be like, oh, this is Satoshi selling on you. You can get dumped on at any time. But You know, the fact is, Bitcoin and crypto in itself is the first time where retail could front run Wall Street. And so maybe this is just a regular guy who managed to make a little money in crypto. And that's a story we could look at behind.
We all love the story too. Yeah, 2 more tries. Great post that you did on that, by the way. Now, Evan, we have a little bit of a market dump happening right now. I mean, we've always theorized if Satoshi's wallet moved, Bitcoin's going to crater. It might lose 50%. It might lose 90% in 24 hours. Do you think that this Satoshi era wallet is responsible for some of the drawdown we're seeing in crypto prices today?
I think my TA is so good that it predicted the dump already, so it doesn't matter. No, I'm just kidding. But
show me the chart. I'll show you the news.
Yeah, I mean, it very well could be part of that. I mean, you're dumping that many millions, onto the market, which is, potentially a cause for some type of concern, in the sense that potentially Satoshi could be dumping on us or whatever, which I think is highly unlikely. I think the person who had the Satoshi wallet was Hal Finney, who has since died, and I think those keys are lost. It likely during those times that he bought kind of the Bitcoin, it could have been, so there's a few different possibilities. During those times for Bitcoin, it was found on a lot of gambling forums back in kind of 2010. That's where the first people were kind of talking about it. This person likely kind of was in direct contact with the first people, though. So it could have been somebody on some gambling forums that, I don't know, maybe forgot about it or something, had it on a laptop for a while, lost it. It could have been already somebody who was a multi-millionaire and didn't care that much. I mean, we're talking about different possibilities. Maybe it was some billionaire just messing around or something. Or here's where it gets very interesting. I don't think the possibility of this is very high. Could it have been hacked? Could have someone hacked that wallet somehow and then sold it? That's the other possibility if those keys were lost. That's the only
all right. Interesting theory. Now, Piano Matty B, we're talking about the how. I want to ask you about the why. Why, after 13 years, is he just now moving? What do you think caused this event to finally happen after more than a decade?
Well, DZ, I have a story too. It may be an unpopular opinion. It's a little bit like Aaron's, but follow me because this one's going to meander and get a little dark and dirty here. 13 years ago, this 25-year-old was living in his mom's basement. And right around 2010, a little piece of technology came out where you could transfer VHSs onto your computer. And this little guy had quite the collection of porn, DZ, that he was hiding from his mom. So he thought he'd transfer them all into his computer and we'll stash it there. So he did. And then 13 years later, he's moving out of his mom's parents. Like, where's that laptop with my holdings? He goes in there. Instead of putting Shift XXX for capital X is easy, he accidentally put Shift 444. And what comes up? But this address for all this Bitcoin that he forgot he even had because it was just given to him on some crazy bet. He didn't know that. And now he's looking at it 13 years later. And I always said this, the porn industry will dictate every technology win or loss, right? So here again, porn won. For this one, anyway.
It all comes full circle. I feel like a jerk. Crypto Seth, +1 for T Shroom. So let's go ahead and give T Shroom 1 point there. Johannes, what are the odds Hal's wife has access to all the wallets still? Here's my impression of Hal Finney's wife. God, why? I don't think so. All right. Let's see. Last question here. T Shroom. There's a lot of moon math targets. I remember 2021. I even thought, I didn't think 320, but I thought for sure we're going above 100K. But every time we start pumping up, you see these old wallets. These old wallets freaking come out of the ocean like it's Piano Matty B's house. Can we get to this, mythical $250,000 Bitcoin as long as there's these old 2010, 2011 wallets dumping? Do we need the whales to exhaust their bags before we can get to $250,000 Bitcoin?
That's a fascinating question, DZ. I would say, it's really a question of how big the institutions want to get in terms of exposure of Bitcoin. If they want to try to outsmart these whales, they're going to have to bring their A game, right? Because these whales have been sitting and they've just been waiting. They've been biding their time. And you see a wallet like that's come out recently that bought at 22 cents. That's somebody who's been 15 years. That's somebody who's been very patient, right? And they're only doing it now for reasons that aren't really clear. it would be one thing if it came out and moved on the day that BlackRock filed for an ETF, right? Or if Kathy Wood said something about her ETF, right? But it's kind of coming out of the blue. I guess maybe they're just eager to go move on to the new Coinbase futures platform. Maybe that's what it is. But other than that, it's seemingly happening out of the blue. So these big institutions that want to come in and buy Bitcoin low, they're going to have to play a little bit harder ball if they're going to be able to get some of that lower priced Bitcoin from the whales. So I'd say that we do have to wait. We have to be patient to see. But no, I don't think at the end of the day that the whales have to give up their bag in order for Bitcoin to get up to 250,000 per coin. I think that's going to have a lot more to do with adoption globally. Mm-hmm. And I think that the whales can just sit back and just sit on their stash and kind of watch the world, become their oyster. That kind of is a little bit of a scary thought, because who knows who these individuals are other than just folks who understood technology really early on and had diamond hands. So that combination could point you towards some very good people and maybe some not so good people. So that'll be interesting to see how that pans out. But it's not the first time that this Earth has definitely had some interesting potential for craziness and for heaven to come down to Earth. So it's not like anything is new under the sun here. But absolutely no, I think that the whales can maintain their position, and Bitcoin can do what all of us bulls hope that it will.
I think Early Birdie, ironic name here, probably has the best theory. Probably someone that just got out of prison. They said from Silk Road, but I think the prison narrative is a very, very strong one. Imagine they did I shouldn't have bought those mushrooms off Silk Road, get arrested. Next thing you know, you're like, hey, I found that old Bitcoin. Crypto Seth, I agree. Institutional investment needs to come in clutch. +1 T-Shroom. Dang it, I think that might. I'm gonna go ahead and try to push you over. I was gonna do a two-way tie, but we're gonna
monk that just reached nirvana and came back to us in reality, and was like, hey, I have a bunch of Bitcoin. That's right.
I do want to give one extra point to Matty. Matty, the audience really connected with your story. A lot of people were connecting. There's just you were kindred spirits for that moment, at least. All right, I think mellow fellow, you got all right. T-Shroom, he got pushed up at the edge. You guys were successful in buying his win. We were gonna do one of those rare ties. I know we're gonna have a rare tie with Altcoin and Evan, but no, T-Shroom, you ended up taking it. So T-Shroom, feel free, leave us with some parting thoughts.
Oh man. Wow, what a treat. Hey, I'm here in my NFT gallery and I'm having a ton of fun here on Around the Blockchain. Easy, asking all the right questions for the week and for the day. Guys, definitely go take a look at Investing Bros on Instagram, on YouTube and Twitter. Come and join us, Army Piper, Tim Warren, and myself, every single day, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're diving into the charts, we're diving into the news, and make sure you guys go ahead into the description of this here video that you're watching and follow everybody else and their links as well on down the line. You're going to love the content. And if you're finding crypto for the first time, welcome on in. The water's fine.
All right, come on. And hey, check out their Instagram. I see Tim in the chat. Maybe it's shirtless pics of Tim and T-Shroom, maybe holding some hardware or something. So we're talking about wallets. I was talking about wallets, not anything else. All right, that's all we got time for today, folks. It's a great show. Make sure you go to every single channel. Make sure you're following all their content. They're all putting out really great stuff. Altcoin Daily. Where are you at on subs? Are you almost at 1.5?
On Twitter, we're just about to tick over to 1.4 million is the next milestone up. Just about to tick over. So, when that happens, I'm switching to Starbucks.
And go share his fun story about the guy who has the millions in Bitcoin missing. He has 2 more passwords. So go share these accounts. Evan Aldo, great trading stuff. Piano Matty B, the best thumbnails in the game. And T-Shroom with the Investing Bros, just putting out all that good content you need to see. That's all we got. Make sure you hit the like button. DZ and the gang, we're out.